Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. So for this week, I will talk about portfolio, documenting for inspiration and research. Okay, this is the objectives. Okay, number one is for documentation. Okay, it's very important for us to compile our previous artworks for individual progress and self-appreciation. Okay, number two is for references. Now, any artworks that we have produced, we should share the knowledge behind the artworks with public or clients. Okay, number three is for research purposes, to be used for historical or contemporary research in the academics or industry. Alright. Next, meyakinkan orang luar bahawa anda mahir dalam bidang tersebut and mewujudkan kepercayaan orang luar terhadap kualiti kerja seni yang anda hasilkan. Okay, these two phrases is to show that by doing portfolio, you can convince your future clients or the public on to show that you are capable of and skillful of doing the work that you have done in the industry. Okay, and lastly is to show that you are well prepared and produce quality design works for the industry. Okay, that's the objectives. Okay, let's brainstorm. How can we develop or produce a quality portfolio in the future? Okay, first of all, you have to think about the theme or concept. So normally each of designer or artist, they have their own way of presenting themselves to the audience ataupun to the industry. So you have to think about the theme of concept. Okay, I will show you some examples later on. Great. Next is the media. All right. Previously, most of the designers or artists will print their portfolio. Okay, there is previously we don't have much technology used in the industry, but in today's culture, I think most of the designer will have a digital or interactive portfolio. Okay, so this is to suit um, the new technology that have been applied to the industry. Okay, next is color. Right, normally designer will go with basic colors such as white or black, and some will choose multicolors or something that is colorful to portray their artwork to the audience. Okay, next is typography. Now, for typography, it is advisable to use sans serif. Sans serif meaning something that is typography that is easy to read and doesn't have much design on it. Okay, so it must be very, very plain typography, which you have to choose something that is suitable for your kind of artwork. Okay, the content, um, you have to highlight the best artworks that you have done previously. This is to show your strength. Okay, and you have to add on a little short description of the artwork so that when people look at your portfolio, they can learn and understand the story, the short description that you have add on into your portfolio. This is some of the basic things that you need to have in your portfolio. Okay, next, designer profile. Okay, this is just a short introduction on yourself so that the audience or the client uh, can get to know you a little bit more. Right. Next is the contact. Okay, this is important. If let's say you are giving the portfolio to any potential clients, so you have to put your contact details in your portfolio so that they can contact you in the future for any future projects. Okay, next. This is the tips on developing a good or basic portfolio. Okay, as I um, always mention in my previous lectures, firstly, you have to make sure the quality of visuals that you use in your portfolio are very good quality, high resolution pictures. Okay, do not use shaky or um, unsharp pictures. Okay, make sure the visuals are very good, high resolution. Okay, next, the layout of the content. It should be something that is um, properly arranged. Okay, which suits your content or your artwork that you are producing. Okay, so I will show you example of layout later on. Okay, and then typography. For the portfolio, make sure something that is when you use typography, choose something that is readable ataupun mudah dibaca. Okay, not too small, not too big, not too fancy. Yeah, because you want to show your artwork. Okay, not this is not a poster design, so do not choose fancy kind of typography because that will interrupt your audience or your client focus on looking at the artwork. Okay, and then color coordination. um, just now I mentioned about concept or the theme, so or the overall color coordination for your artwork. If your artwork is already colorful, as example, maybe you are a batik designer, so I think it's better to choose white as your background so that there is a contrast between your artwork and your background. Okay, and lastly, explore on interactive media. So this is what I mentioned just now. In today's culture, normally most of the designer will go with digital portfolio. The most basic thing is they will compile it as PDF format and they will share it on WhatsApp or social media or email to the potential clients. And some will go further by applying or insert special effects such as animation. This is normally done by the multimedia designers. Okay, all right, next. Okay, let's see some of the examples of how does designer or artist compile their artworks. So this is example of a fashion designer compiling her or his or her fashion illustration. Okay, right. So as you can see, it's nicely arranged on the white surface so that you can see clearly on the design. Okay, all right. This is an example of idea on the cover design. So if it's colorful, so you can just um, use the visual as a main character for the cover design and followed by the title of your names or anything that related to the portfolio. Okay, very interesting because it's so colorful. Right, this is more modern kind of concept. This one the designer play around with the typography, but the designer put some effects by using like lines and colors to show um, the content is something about graphic design. Okay, so next. All right, this is a combination of something traditional in contemporary vibe. So as you can see, the designer used calligraphy element for the cover. All right, so this is actually a poster design, but you can also apply this on your portfolio cover so that it will look more interesting. All right. Just now I mentioned about layout ideation. So in the internet or I think mostly in the websites or the Google websites, You can search around on ideas about layout. So this is example on how can you um, get inspired by the layout design for your portfolio, right? So as you can see, the designer only use black and white, and the visuals are, you know, are carefully laid out according to the designer preferences. Okay, very nice. Right. This is the basic portfolio content that you should have in your portfolio, right? There is five contents. Um, there is other more elements if you want to add on. That is up to you. But this is the basic things that you need to have, like cover, introduction, or designer profile, the table of content, and at least there is about 10 artworks with description, or 10 artworks to highlight your strength in the design world, ataupun your nature of design work. Okay, so you have to show your best artwork to the audience. And last but not least, your contact information. All right, so I have created a example of my own portfolio for your reference. This is just an idea on how can you develop your own portfolio later on. Okay, all right. So this is the cover. Okay, by the way, I normally for design, I will use Adobe Illustrator, and I know nowadays most of you love to use Canva. It's okay, you can use Canva as well, but personally, I love to use Illustrator much more than Canva. Okay, there is other option as well. So like Procreate, Canva, and some other potential apps in your phone. So you can use that as well. Okay, but I will use Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop. Okay, right. This is the cover of my portfolio. So because of my nature of work is related to batik industry and Sarawakian heritage vibe, so I will highlight or promote my Sarawakian batik in my portfolio, so that people can know, okay, the Hafiz drama is more about Sarawakian inspiration in his design. Right. Next, this is the introduction page. Now, um, in the introduction page, normally designer or artist will uh, put a short description about themselves, short introduction about themselves. Normally, they will add on um, uh, the designer's hometown, location of their studio, maybe uh, the designer's name, of course, um, where does the designer studies, UITM, UMK, okay, or any colleges in Malaysia or other parts of the world. Okay, just to give a brief introduction to the audience or your clients about yourself. Okay, you do not need to put like a very long description for this one. Okay, just a short description. All right, as you can see, when we go to this page, I have changed the colors. Okay, so that there is a um, interesting color coordination for the portfolio. Okay, you can still retain the red color to the next page. It's up to you. Okay, it's very subjective, but um, you choose what's best for your portfolio. Okay, now let's move on to the layout guideline. Okay, this is a basic layout guideline for portfolio. Okay, this is example of my own layout for my portfolio. So there is many way on how to do the layout. So this is example on the most basic thing you can do for your portfolio. Okay, normally you will emphasize more on the visual. Okay, so imagine this pink area is your the visual of your artwork. All right, on the right hand side here, you have to put some description on the related to the artwork. Okay, normally people will add on the title, year of making, or the year or that you produce the artwork, the media that you use, and maybe you want to put the price. Okay, if you are uh, promoting or doing like portfolio that is to sell your products, so you can put price on the last on the last row here. Okay, all right. So let's see how does it look like if we insert a real image. Okay, so this is example of my Kuala Lumpur Fashion Week. It's from my Kuala Lumpur Fashion Week show in 2017, and the title is called Kembara Galaxy. And the media that I use is batik block, and um, the price for this baju or this garment is 10,000 ringgit. Okay, so this is example on how can you arrange your content. All right, so next, okay, this is another example of my creations. I also produce tote bags. So in 2020, I produced some cute tote bags for my clients, and it is digital and polyester, the media. This is for the media, and the price for each tote bags is RM 100 ringgit Malaysia. Okay, so can you see the way I arrange it? I put it in the middle of the um, paper so that people can focus directly to the tote bag designs. Okay, right. So just to recap and look back, how does it look like from previous page? Okay, this is a tote bag. Okay, last to show you is the contact page. Okay, normally you have to put lah you punya handphone number. Okay, sometimes people don't want to put handphone number, so at least you put your email, your official email lah. Okay, this is my official email, hafiz.d@umk.edu.my. Alright, and if you have your own website, you can also include it here. Alright, this is example, just an example. And of course, nowadays, I think most of us have social media, so you can promote either one or all of your social media. So in my case, I love to put my Instagram. Okay, Instagram. So this is my official Instagram, instagram.com/trainyo. So you can see my current artwork on the Instagram. Okay, so that's example of the layout. All right, so I have compiled, excuse me, I have compiled two references. Okay, this is number two, this is number one. Okay, this is from Ilham Gallery in Kuala Lumpur. Why I choose these two compilation, because this one is more related to heritage stuff. So so that both creative technology and heritage students, you know, you can see how people develop heritage content with creative content in today's culture. So you can see this information later. You just click here and it will automatically uh, bring you to the link given here. Okay, all right. I will not click this one, so I hope you guys can click this later lah. Okay, another one. This is like the current trend in our creative industry. Normally designers will add on like simple animation to their portfolio to make it more interesting. Okay, normally this is done by the multimedia designer. Okay, so you can click here and it will bring you to the respective link that I have shared here. Okay, so this is the last slide, and I hope this is the last slide for this portfolio. Next week we will talk a little bit more about visual or issues, yeah, in related to our subject, which is teknik persembahan visual. So it's more about the current issue that related to our industry, and how can you help the industry, or how can you collaborate with the industry in order to produce more quality artwork in the future. Okay, guys. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me on the Telegram group. And I hope by sharing this week content, which is about portfolio, it will help you guys on preparing yourself for the elective selection, especially for creative technology students. Okay, for the heritage students, it is a good information for you guys as well. So maybe you can apply this during your elective in the future. Okay, till then, I'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum. Bye bye. Take care.